Meet Mike. Mike is 29 years old. He has a stable job, good credit, and $80,000 saved up. Last month, he did what every responsible adult is supposed to do. He bought a three-bedroom house for $400,000. His mortgage payment is $2,800 a month. Now meet Dave. Dave works the exact same job as Mike. He makes the exact same salary. But Dave is throwing his money away on rent. He pays $2,200 a month for a similar apartment down the street. At a dinner party, Mike feels a little sorry for Dave. Mike tells himself, at least my $2,800 is building equity. Dave is just paying his landlord's mortgage. Mike assumes that in 30 years he will be rich and Dave will have nothing. He is wrong. What Mike doesn't know, what his real estate agent definitely didn't tell him, is that there is a phantom burn rate attached to his house, a hidden mathematical formula that is quietly draining his wealth faster than Dave's rent ever could. 5 years from now, Dave will actually have a higher net worth than Mike, and Mike will never understand why. I am Zach, and I spent the last few months analyzing the hidden, unrecoverable costs of the American housing market. If you think buying a home is always the smartest investment you can make, you need to watch this video, because you might be buying a liability disguised as an asset.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button, because today we are exposing the homeowner's trap. This is the invisible equation that banks use to make you feel rich while you are actually getting poorer, and it is costing millions of Americans their financial freedom. Here is the lie that keeps the housing market spinning. We're taught that renting is a cost, 100% loss, and buying is savings, 100% equity. But that is not how the math works. When you buy a house, you trigger a set of invisible expenses that I call the phantom burn rate. These are costs that do not build equity. They do not go into your pocket. They vanish into thin air, exactly like rent. Let's look at Mike's $2,800 mortgage payment. Mike thinks he is saving $2,800 a month, but he isn't. Because of how amortization works, in the first year of a 30-year mortgage at 7% interest, roughly 88% of his payment is purely interest. That means out of his $2,800 check, the bank keeps $2,460. Only $340 actually goes toward paying off the house. To the bank, Mike is a renter. He's just renting the money instead of renting the apartment. But wait, it gets worse. The phantom burn rate has two more layers that Zillow doesn't show you on the listing. 1. Property taxes. The government is your permanent landlord. Even if you pay off the house, if you stop paying taxes, they take it. That's another $400 a month gone forever. 2. Maintenance capex. A 2022 study by State Farm found that homeowners underestimate maintenance costs by 40%. The roof, the HVAC, the water heater, they are ticking time bombs. When you add the interest, $2,460, plus the taxes, $400, plus the maintenance, $300, Mike's unrecoverable cost is actually $3,160 a month. Dave, the sucker who's renting, his unrecoverable cost is just his rent, $2,200. Mike is literally setting $1,000 more on fire every single month than Dave is, but he feels smarter because he has a deed with his name on it. But the most dangerous part of this trap isn't the monthly payment, it is the dead capital. This is the part that makes me the most angry because nobody talks about it. To get that house, Mike had to take $80,000 of his hard-earned cash and lock it into the drywall of his home as a down payment. That money is now asleep. It is dead. It is earning him $0 in cash flow. Dave, on the other hand, didn't buy a house, so he took that same $80,000 and put it into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. Historically, the market returns about 10% a year. That means Dave's money is working for him. In the first year alone, his $80,000 earns $8,000. That is $660 a month in passive income. So let's look at the real scoreboard. Mike, the homeowner, he is paying the bank interest, he's paying the government taxes, and his $80,000 is trapped in the walls. Dave, the renter, he is paying a fixed rent, and his $80,000 is paying him a salary. The real estate industry loves to tell you that rent is 100% interest. What they don't tell you is that equity is 0% return.
Now, you might be thinking, this sounds depressing. Does this mean I should never buy a house? No, but it means you need to stop guessing and start using a better formula. The banks have their algorithms to judge you. You need an algorithm to judge the house. It's called the 5% rule. I found this framework used by institutional investors to decide where to allocate capital, and it simplifies everything. Here is how it works. You take the total value of the home you want to buy, you multiply it by 5%. Why 5%? 1% for property tax, 1% for maintenance costs, 3% for the cost of capital, interest or opportunity cost. Then you divide that number by 12. This gives you the break-even rent. Let's use Mike's house, $400,000. $400,000 times 5% equals $20,000 a year. Divide by 12 equals $1,666 a month. Here is the verdict. If Mike can rent that house for less than $1,666, renting is mathematically the superior wealth-building choice. If rent costs more than $1,666, buying is the winner. In Mike's city, renting that house costs $2,200, so in this specific case, buying might actually make sense long-term. But in cities like Los Angeles, Toronto, or New York, a $1 million condo has a break-even rent of $4,100, but you can usually rent that same condo for $3,000. In those markets, the renter is robbing the landlord legally. The invisible score creates a wealth transfer from the owner to the tenant. We have been sold a story that says a home is a piggy bank that you live in. But for the first 10 years, a home is mostly a liability that you sleep in. Mike will pay that mortgage for a decade before he makes a real dent in the principal. He will fix the roof, he will pay the taxes, and he will wonder why his savings account never seems to grow. He assumes it's just how things work. He is wrong. You can opt out of this game. You can choose to rent, keep your capital liquid, and let the stock market build your wealth while your landlord worries about the leaky faucet. Renting isn't throwing money away. It's buying flexibility. It's buying patience. And sometimes it's the smartest trade you can make. I have spent way too much time looking at amortization tables so you don't have to. If this changed how you see the American dream, hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.